What's up everybody? Welcome to the Stocks channel. My name is Corey and today we're going to do macro level analysis on all of the markets to see exactly where this market is going. We're getting into some very critical price targets that you need to be aware of, so this is going to be a very important episode, so make sure you're following along and paying close attention. So first up, let's take a look at the S&P 500 SPX index. So let's crack open this chart and see what's going on in the stock market today. Also, just a quick reminder that Bank Trade Alerts is now live. This is my buy and sell trade alert service that only trades TQQQ. As you can see, the bank system is currently up 2.04% for the last week, 4.03% for the month of June, and 26.18% year to date. All of these results are non-compounded and the system is very easy to use. All of the buy and sell alerts are sent directly to you via email and text message. I'm also running a 50% off promo code for your first month, so if you're interested in bank trade alerts, you can find out all of the details in the description below. Alright, jumping back over to the S&P 500, remember we're looking at a weekly chart of the SPX index. So we could see we had a very bullish week, and it was a fully bullish engulfing candle on the weekly chart. Now do remember that my price target is 43.06. And from last week's close to that price target is just barely over 0.5% more. Now remember, when we get to a price target, we want to be a lot more defensive because all of these critical price targets could lead to a stock market correction or at least a significant pullback before we go higher. Does that mean try to short the market and try to call a top in a bull market? Absolutely not. But does that mean you should get more defensive and prepare for a potential pullback or a correction? Absolutely. So remember that 43.06 was our price target ever since we broke and closed over 41.51. So that was also now our critical support. And 2 weeks ago when we were getting a volatile sell-off for quad witching, it was very important that we did stay over that level. So remember, you want to be a bull in a bull market, and we still have a very strong bullish trend on this weekly chart, and the price action is still holding up over critical support. Remember, our 20 simple moving average is our critical support level on the weekly chart, and that's sitting down there right around 40.88. So as we continue to push higher, I want you to get a lot more defensive as we get closer and closer to 43.06. I don't want you shorting and trying to call a top, but I do want you to be aware of this critical level that's been a very important price target. But at the same time, we have to stay objective, and the price action and the trend are still incredibly bullish. The price action is over a positive sloping 5 EMA above all the moving averages, and all of our moving averages are still stacked to the bull side. So right now, be cautious of this level, but don't think that you need to become a bear just because we get to that level. On a monthly chart, we can still see price action looking very bullish, and it does look like we're well within the range of getting to that price target. We see the price action well above all the moving averages and still having this very strong bull trend. Now from this price target at 43.06 back to our trendline breakout levels, that's now about a 12.5% to about a 15.5% drop. So please do understand the risk, because if we do get into a volatile period and we do start getting through a stock market correction after we hit some of these price targets, there is quite a significant drop back to our support trend lines. Remember that when you break a resistance trend line, that level now could be newfound support, and we haven't really had a true test of that support level ever since the breakout. So while I don't know exactly when we're coming back down to retest those levels, it's definitely a possibility that we are going to retest that breakout level. So that level is down here around 3,800 all the way down to about 3,650. And those will be key levels that we want to watch if we do start getting into a bear market or a stock market correction. So keep in mind that we're staying objective and we're still bullish because the price action and the trend are bullish, but we're remaining cautious as we continue to get closer to these price targets, knowing that these price targets can trigger massive selling and stock market corrections. If we start breaking and closing above this level, I will update you with brand new price targets, but I'm not going to just go ahead and assume we're breaking above these levels until we see the price action confirm it. On this week's Bear Bull survey, we can see 40.4% bulls, 36.3% of the people are neutral, and 23.3% of the people are bearish. Remember that normally as you get higher and higher, the greed in the market starts increasing, and I do expect to see more bulls entering the survey. We already see quite a few bears only at 23%, but we still have a lot of these people that are neutral that eventually need to join in on the fun and could lead to a blow off top. If we see all of these neutral people and these bears joining the bulls, that will signal that we're nearing a top and we're due for a correction. But right now, the survey doesn't have anything out of the normal, and it's completely fine to have 40% bulls in a bull market. The more concerning part is if this level does start getting closer to 50%, as we continue to march higher, that would signal that we could be nearing a stock market correction. Jumping over to the NASDAQ 100 NDX, again, we're looking at the weekly chart, and our price target is up there at 14,488. From last week's close to that price target is about a 1% move to the upside. Again, I'm not saying short the market after the Nasdaq goes 1% higher. I'm simply telling you to be cautious, and we're getting very close to a critical price target. On the weekly chart, from that price target back to our 20 simple moving average is about a 6.5% drop. Again, that doesn't mean we have to drop that much after we get to these levels. I just want you to be aware of the risk to the downside if these levels do trigger a stock market correction. We've been in a very strong bull trend for a very long time, but you can definitely see the market getting a little more unstable as we near this price target. We've seen a lot more pullbacks followed by all-time highs, followed by more pullbacks, and now we're back to new all-time highs. This trend could be breaking and we could be going back into trend mode, but do know the market is getting overextended at these levels and we are hitting critical price targets. So the price action and the trend are still very bullish, so we're going to remain bullish. But if we do start breaking down below about 14,000 on the Nasdaq, that could be a warning sign that we're going much lower. So watch that price target above, because it is very possible we get to that price target as early as this week coming up. On the monthly chart, you could see how close we are to that price target, but you could also see how much more room is still in the upper Bollinger Band. We're in a very strong bull trend, and we can see the price action is well above the 5 EMA. On the monthly chart, from our price target down to the 20 simple moving average is about a 23% pullback. There's also a strong support level back here going all the way back to October of 2020. But do remember, we're not assuming that's going to happen until we see a critical price target breakdown in our support levels. Right now, everything is still full bull, and we are getting very close to our price target. On the Dow Jones weekly chart, we see another bullish week closing back above the 5 EMA, and we never actually lost the bullish trend. 2 weeks ago, we had that critical support at the 20 simple moving average on the weekly chart, and we did see follow through of buyers of the dip, and we did break back above all the moving averages. So while the Dow Jones was at critical support, it no longer is, and we did see a strong bounce off that level. We didn't yet close above the high of 2 weeks ago, but we're very close to getting above that level. Now the question is the Dow Jones going to start breaking out to new all-time highs? So watch that level right around 34,775 to see if the Dow Jones can get to a brand new all-time high. If the Dow Jones gets to new all-time highs, that will be very bullish, but as you can tell, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100 are very close to critical price targets. At the same time, the Dow Jones is potentially putting in a lower high. So is the Dow Jones leading the way in the next correction, and it's not actually getting to all-time highs, will be one very interesting thing you want to pay attention to this week. So on the Dow Jones weekly chart to brand new all-time highs, we're looking for a move that has to exceed over 1%. To the downside, we'd still be looking for critical support at this 20 simple moving average, and on a break below that, we would be coming back down to the 50 EMA, which is another 9.5% drop. So take this analysis seriously, because as we get to critical price targets, if we start to see a volatile sell-off, that could be signaling that we're going through a stock market correction. Don't just assume a stock market correction is coming, wait for a confirmation of a critical support breakdown. On my daily analysis, I always give you those critical levels, so you should know exactly what to pay attention to. On the monthly chart of the Dow Jones, we can see we got back down to the 5 EMA before finding support, and now we're bouncing. We still have the full bull trend, and the price action is still over a positive sloping 5 EMA. On the Russell 2000 weekly chart, we can see that we also had a bullish week after 2 weeks ago we did close below the 20 simple moving average. So it's good news for the Russell to see a strong bounce after we saw that price action. We don't quite yet have a strong bullish trend on the weekly chart, and we definitely see a very strong squeeze in the Bollinger Bands. Normally after a Bollinger Band squeeze, you get a giant move in either direction, and you don't know which direction the squeeze is going to fire until you get a confirmation breakout. So on the Russell 2000, we would need a confirmation breakout to new all-time highs to know that this squeeze is likely going to fire to the upside. To the downside, we would want to take out the low from 2 weeks ago, and that would tell us we're very likely coming back down to the 50 EMA, or at least our support trend line. That's anywhere between a 10 to about a 13.6% drop if we do go back down to those levels. So pay attention to the price action, and you could see how strong this Bollinger Band squeeze is on the weekly chart. On the monthly chart, the price action still looks very bullish, taking out the previous closing highs even though the month of June is not yet over. We're well above the 5 EMA, and we still have the very strong bull trend on the monthly chart for the Russell. Jumping over to the VIX, we can see that spike did get up to the 50 EMA on the weekly chart. However, it completely got crushed, and we're back below that support level at 16.6, and we still see a very low VIX sitting right around 15.6. Remember, VIX is a measurement of fear, and the lower the VIX goes, the more likely the stock market is going to all-time highs. So right now, the VIX is looking bullish, and it's going lower as we see a strong bearish trend. So if the VIX starts spiking back above 20, as we come into those price targets I just showed you, that could signal that we're going into a stock market correction. But right now we don't see that, and we're staying objective. So it's just something we want to be cautious about, but not necessarily something we want to assume is going to occur. On a weekly chart of Bitcoin, we're currently hanging around that 50 EMA on the weekly chart. We see a very strong double bottom possibility right around $30,000, and that actually makes me a lot more bullish on Bitcoin. Looking at the price action and the trend, there's no way you can be bullish on this chart, but remember that price action is king. If you strictly go by price action, which is the most important thing of all when you're doing technical analysis, it is very telling that Bitcoin cannot break below 30,000. Let's go all the way back to the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021 when Bitcoin was just breaking out of $30,000. We saw a lot of critical resistance and support back in that area, and now we're seeing a ton of support yet again around that $30,000 level. That is why the price action is so bullish. If Bitcoin were to break below 30,000, obviously that would change at the drop of a hat. But if you're setting a risk reward trade up, this is the absolute best entry you're ever going to get on Bitcoin if it is going to break out to new all-time highs. You're going to look back at this day where Bitcoin is struggling to break through 30,000 and saying to yourself, why did I not buy more even though that critical support level wouldn't break down? So if that's you and you're in that boat and you've been waiting for an opportunity to buy Bitcoin and you were trying to FOMO in at the top, you need to second guess yourself and you need to leave your emotions at the door and you need to stay objective and you need to look at the price action and now see that this is the buying opportunity you were likely waiting for. This is not the time to be fearful and this is not the time to be running for the door when you can't see it breaking down below critical support. So I am very bullish on Bitcoin as long as it's above $30,000. Below 30,000, it's still possible it goes to 27,000 and possibly even all the way back down to 20,000. But that's not what's occurring. Right now, we have to look at the price action and stay objective, and we have to see the price action is holding up above critical support. So if Bitcoin were to start bouncing off these levels and taking out these previous highs right around 39,000, that would be a bullish breakout, and I do think Bitcoin could go to brand new all-time highs this year. On the monthly chart of Bitcoin, you can see we're currently finding support just above that 13 EMA, and you can see exactly why Bitcoin had that correction. It went parabolic in a blow-off top fashion, and you go down just as fast as you go up after a blow-off top. So is the blow-off top ending? Well, it very likely possibly could be. We see the candle size on the monthly chart getting a lot smaller, and we definitely see buyers of the dip at 30,000. So this blow-off top could be ending, and we could be building a foundation support base down here at 30,000 before we start running up to new all-time highs. Remember, my price targets above are all the way up to about $87,000. So we could run back up to about 67, break that, get to 75,000, and break that and get to 87,000, all by late 2020 or early 2022. So at these critical levels of support, I think this is a great risk reward setup, and I'm a buyer of Bitcoin at these levels. So jumping back over to the S&P 500 weekly chart, you can definitely see we're getting very close to a critical price target. It's just as possible we blast through that level and continue to go even higher. So don't just short the market because we get to this price target. Just be cautious and possibly raise some more dry powder and have some more cash ready to buy the dip. Don't just get completely out of the market or try to short the market because we're getting to one of my price targets. I just want you to be aware that it could be a great opportunity to lock in some profits and potentially wait for a correction to add that money back into the market. I never believe in calling a top in a bull market, and I would never advise you to short a bull market. If you're trying to short a bull market, you better be absolutely sure of your exit strategy because staying short in a bull market is the best way to lose all of your money. We're in a strong bullish trend with strong bullish price action, and trying to call a top is trying to be a hero, and it's just absolutely unnecessary. Anybody trying to scare you out of this market is just noise, and block it out. Stay objective and follow the price action and the trend. On this channel, we've always been bullish in this bull market, and we continue to see the market marching higher, and we're always on the right side of the trade. So you can either block out the noise and be on the right side of the trade, or you can listen to all of the noise and continue to lose money. The option and the choice is completely up to you, and it's your money to do what you want with. Also remember that I just launched Bank Trade Alerts, my trade alert service that tells you exactly when to buy and sell TQQQs, and it sends the messages directly to your email and text message device. You can find out all the details below in the description. I also have the Stocks Channel Discord where I do intraday updates and analysis to help you navigate this market. I'm also bringing you new trade ideas in the Stocks Channel Discord to help you crush this market. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you're crushing this market. And as always, I will see you in the next episode.